So hello, this is Sri Rashwant. Basically, I'm going to explain about the task 3.2p. So yeah, this is my code. Robot command, the map.cs, and the program.cs. So basically, what is this API robot controller? So I'm basically building a robot controller best API using ASP.NET. So it's just like in backend system that allows user apps to control and manage a robot through HTTP requests. So first, let me explain the code of program.cs. So this is a program, so like acts as an entry point of the web API and ensures endpoints in the controllers and becomes accessible via HTTP requests. So it's just gonna we can just access this using HTTP request. So web application creator builder. So it creates a web application builder. So line 3 registers controllers support. The var app builder dot build. So this is gonna build the application. This is gonna help to build the application. So this user HTTP is redirection. So this automatically redirects HTTP requests to HTTPs. So the app dot map controllers. This map controller routes to the endpoints. The app dot run. So this is gonna start the web server. Now the application begins listening for the request. So it's getting ready to listen for the requests. So next, let's do the robot command controller.cs. So yeah, this is the code. So this is basically it just defines the robot command model. It represents a robot instruction with the properties like id, name, with the id, name, ismove command, timestamps, and optional description. So let's start from here. The API controller. So what this does is this just marks the class as an API controller. So the core basically understands the this class handles the HTTP request and automatically request validation. So the next line 6, root API robot commands. So what it does is it basically defines the base URL root. Public class robot commander controller base. So this is just gonna provide us the HTTP responses, API helper methods, the status code handling, and the routing support. So let's go to the ninth line. So here I'm creating an in-memory list to store the robot commands. So here you can see left true and right true. So what left true means, so when left is true, it's just the robot is gonna turn left, and right true means the robot is gonna turn right. So here the public action result add robot command sorry, new command. So here this endpoint handles the HTTP spot request to create a new robot command. The request the request body is automatically mapped into an robot command object. So first the method validates the request and return bad request if the data is invalid. Then it checks for the duplicate command names and returns conflict if one already exists. So yeah, a new robot command object is so yeah, a new robot command is getting created. The object is created with an automatically generated ID and timestamps. So this command is added to the in-memory collection and the API returns HTTP 201 created using the created auto route, the created at route. So going down here, line 7 to the line 72, the public action result update ID robot command updated. So this put endpoint updates an existing robot command using its ID. The the API the API first searches for the command in the collection using first or default. if the command does not exist, so the command is not gonna, if the command is not being existing, it just returns http 404 not found. So the bad request, the request body. So the request body is validated and the command properties are updated, including the modification timestamp. Finally, the API returns HTTP 204 no content indicating. So a successful update. So down here, the public action delete. So delete in. So this endpoint handles HTTP delete requests for the robot commands. The root parameter ID defines, identifies which command should be deleted. So basically, this is gonna identify which command has to be deleted. So yeah, so let's go to the map.cs. So this is my code. So basically, yeah, the public int id, the public int id columns, the rows, name, description, date time, create date, and datetime modified date. So I've given everything here. So what this map cs basically does it, so it defines the map entity representing a grid system for robot movement. So it's stored, so it's gonna store the size, basically using the rows, columns, name, timestamps, and description. As I told, it includes helper methods like a square to check equal dimensions, and it and contains coordinates, so to verify if a coordinate exists within the map boundaries. So yeah, so this is my code. So let's go to the robot command controller cs. So this is going to be my code for the robot command. So same here, the left true, right true, so move true, place false, and report false. So here the same left true, so if the left is true, the robot turns left, and right is true, the the robot turns right and move. So move true, obviously, so only the move true, the bot is going to move. So basically, what is robot command controller.cs? So it is gonna handle all robot command API endpoints. It supports CRUD operations like get, post, put, and delete, and filtering move commands. So it uses an in-memory list to store data. So basically, it requests proper HTTP responses like 200 OK, 404 not OK, not found, 400 bad request, and 201 created for full RESTful. So yeah, let's go to the map controller.cs. Sorry, the API controller, Moon Deacon Berwick. So I've given the date time now. So here the HTTP get square, HTTP get ID and get map, HTTP post, and this is the HTTP put ID. Here the HTTP delete ID. Yeah. So what is maps controller.cs does? So basically it handles all map related API endpoints. It provides CRUD options plus extra logic like filtering square maps and checking coordinates on the grid. So it uses a static list as shortage and returns appropriate HTTP status codes, ensuring respectful API design with a validation and error handling. So yeah, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run my code. So yeah, all done. And now let's move on to the Postman app. So yeah, I've done the setup already. So now let's send. So send. So let's send a new request. Now the post 4. Now going back to the get one. Now sending. So yeah, now it's created. Now let's go to get 5. Send. Get 6. send, get 7, send, get 8, send, so post 9, send. Now going back to the get 5, send. Here it's created. So yeah, thank you. This is my demonstration.